Hey, Mayari.
Hey, Bug.
Mayari, you are a beautiful Filipinx Canadian child. One day, someone might make you feel less than because of your skin color. They might say something harmful like, go back to the country you came from, which will be confusing because you were born here, or they might even call you a racial slur that isn't even connected to having Philippine heritage. One day, someone might say you're a part of the model minority. They might tell you something odd like, Filipinos are so friendly and hardworking, or Filipinos make the best nurses. When Daddy was young and heard those things, it felt like a compliment, and it felt good. And so Daddy sought to please everyone else. He didn't want to disappoint them, so he did well in school and did everything he could to be seen as kind and likable. He wanted people to think he was valuable and worthy because deep down, he wasn't sure if he was. Daddy created his entire sense of worth based on how other people saw him. So when he didn't live up to his impossibly high standards, he felt like he was a failure. So beware of compliments and what's behind them, because they can be more harmful than they might appear. Also, if someday someone says you're the model minority, know that what they're really saying is, you're better than other racialized people because you're Asian. That is a lie. Every person is as worthy, valuable, and important as you, and you are as worthy, valuable, and important as every other person. That model minority myth wasn't created with our interest and well-being in mind. It was created by white supremacy to divide us from other racialized people so that we don't question it. White supremacy doesn't want us Asians to realize that our liberation is tied up with the liberation of other racialized people. Because if we realize that, we would join them in dismantling white supremacy.
Mommy also wants to tell you something, but it's a story I don't like. I remember when I was younger, people pointing out my non-Filipino nose and saying I would be a beauty someday. It made me feel special, and I began to feel proud that I wasn't full Filipino, because what I was being told over and over was that it wasn't as good to be full Filipino. When people asked me, what was I? Problematic. Meaning, where are you from? Still problematic. I was always sure to include that I was 3/4 Filipino and 1/4 white. It was what made me special. I was beautiful because of it. But my skin was also darker than a lot of Filipinos, and often people would say, "You're so beautiful. Look at that nose. But you're so dark." I internalized this. Then Felicia. She was half white and half Filipino. She was crowned Miss Binibining Pilipinas. I never entered. I didn't want to. But also, it must be noted that I was never asked to enter. Felicia was. And she won. We didn't go to the same high school, but at the time, being Filipino kind of meant you knew all the other Filipinos in the GTA, and we would congregate. If she was around, I found myself lumped in with the other Filipino girls, and she was the one praised for her nose and her hazel eyes and her light skin. I wasn't noticed. All of a sudden, I was just Filipino. All my specialness melted away. Here's the thing. Then I went to a predominantly white university, and there I wasn't attractive at all. Rude awakening. And here's the other thing. I liked my dark skin. I had always liked my skin. So there was this dissonance within me, that there was a hierarchy within my own community, and I was better than some Filipino people, but not as good as other Filipinos. And yet, I knew it didn't feel right. Now I know this hierarchy pinning us against each other is made up. White supremacy is a model that breeds internalized shame. It tells you that who you are is not good enough, so you better find a way to elevate yourself, to look, act, be like the idealized whiteness that lies at the top. And I don't want you to have that. I don't want you to have any of that. I don't want you to measure yourself in fractions or feel elevated by a compliment made at the expense of others.
Just forget the model minority and be the model Mayari. Be you, and know that you are and always will be worthy and loved, no matter what.
You're the only you that will ever be in the history of the universe. Isn't that incredible? Your voice is loud, and you will stand with others to change this world.
Remember, you don't need to prove that you're worthy to anyone.
You are beautiful, period. But that's only one thing that you are. You are powerful and wild, intelligent and empathetic.
You are valuable and irreplaceable just as you are.
Daddy and Mommy will do our best to always remind you of that. We love you so much.